Despite early support from some world-leading privacy experts, Canada's contact tracing app has had a fairly low uptake. Only 5 million Canadians have downloaded the app, and there are questions about how well it's working with contact tracing at very low levels. Anne Cavoukian is with us now. She's a former Ontario Privacy Commissioner and the Executive Director of the Global Privacy and Security by Design Centre. Anne, always great to have you with us. Appreciate your time.
Amanda, my pleasure as always.
I do want to start with, I want to talk to you about the new privacy bill that's been introduced in this country, long overdue, and get your thoughts on it. But before we get to that, I wondered what you thought about the low uptake of this app and whether it is a privacy concern for Canadians. Are we worried about that, or whether you assume there's some other reason people aren't downloading it?
I think everyone is really concerned about privacy right now, all across the board. And I think a lot of people may not understand that the COVID Alert app is based on the Apple-Google framework, which is unbelievably privacy protective. Apple contacted me on 2 separate occasions and walked me through the code, because they always know I want to look under the hood, trust but verify. They walked me through all of the code. There's no personal information collected whatsoever. It's totally privacy protective, no geolocation data, nothing. So the individual is totally in control of the situation. But I think there is such fear these days associated with the collection of any personal information. And other provinces do have apps, started with apps that actually did collect personal information. So understandably, the public is confused, and they don't realize that Ontario's COVID Alert app, which is now the federal COVID Alert app, the Canadian government adopted it. It literally does not do any contact tracing. They, in fact, called it exposure notification, like Apple, Google had, because it simply alerts you to the fact that you're within 2 meters of someone who has tested positive for COVID-19. Then it's up to you what you choose to do with it. You can go to your family doctor. You can go to a public health authority. You can do nothing. Nobody knows any of this information except you. You're in total control. So I'm trying to urge people to consider using the app, because no personal information will be collected. Everything is under your personal control. And can I tell you, Amanda, Germany adopted this about 2 months ago. They created an app based on the Apple Google framework. And within 24 hours, 6.5 million people had downloaded it. And now I think just under 30 million have downloaded it. They have enormous faith in their privacy commission in Germany. And when they told them this thing is privacy protected, they did it. Here, we obviously don't have the same kind of situation. And we're trying to urge people to consider using this app.
I do want to ask you about this new privacy bill in Canada, overdue. Does it do what we need it to do? And I ask that, Anne, in the context of everything we know about how our private data is used and abused. Is this bill tough enough, and does it address some of those very contemporary issues?
Amanda, it does some things well and other things not so well. So for example, it gives finally the Federal Privacy Commissioner order-making power, which means he can issue an order to a company or organization saying, you've breached the act, here's what you have to do. I had order-making power when I was Privacy Commissioner, as do many of the other commissioners. It gives you such strength. It gives you the stick, if you will, that you don't need to use, as opposed to just the carrot. You now have the ability to issue orders. And I found, because of that, many organizations I dealt with wanted to engage in discussion with me as to how to resolve the problem. It's a game changer. So I'm so glad he has that now. But what I don't understand is why he has to, there's now also this new Privacy and Data Protection Tribunal created that people can appeal his orders to, and that if he wants fines issued, which now high fines can also be levied for breaches, he has to go through this tribunal. It makes no sense. None of the other privacy commissioners across Canada have that. I think it weakens his authority. So there's positive and negative. Also, I should tell you, they didn't include privacy by design in the law, and they said they were going to in 2018 when they came out with a paper called Towards Privacy by Design, How to Upgrade PIPEDA, the federal private sector legislation. They didn't do that. So it's a mixed bag, Amanda.
All right. Well, it's great to have your view on it. I know we'll be talking again about it as it makes its way into the world. And Cavoukian, always good to have you with us, former Privacy Commissioner.